E-logs have been a hot topic for the industry the last couple of years. Initial adoption was slow, but now a significant percentage of carriers are starting to use them. Shaw Tracking is one of the major providers of e-log solutions in Canada. Editorial Director Lou Smirlis caught up with Vice President Mike Ham to discuss what is driving the increase in adoption rates and what some of the drivers' early experiences with e-logs have been.
We're certainly seeing that increase. We've probably seen a 25 to 30% increase on our current customers.
That's significant.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you know, the whole concept of myth of if the logs have to be mandated for companies to be able to adopt them, that myth is being eroded. Good companies, large, small, medium-sized companies are understanding that the way they manage logs today, there's internal costs, there's external costs, and companies are taking a hard look at those and trying to find out how automation makes it more accurate, more timely, and drives costs out of their business. And that coupled with the concept of we're seeing more and more drivers readily accepting logs. Matter of fact, it reminds me of when I got into this business some 15 years ago with technology and Big Brother and drivers being somewhat apprehensive to the concept. We're seeing that transition again now. Drivers that are getting into being able to have their logs automated, that experience is very positive. And drivers are readily accepting it. There's no need for them to worry about the paper exercise, you know, whether they're doing during the day or on their time off. There's visibility within the corporations, and the drivers are now starting to say, I want my logs, and if I don't have my logs, I don't necessarily want to go out on the road. So it's a way of being treated, being managed. The drivers, the operations, the management, reducing costs, eliminating infrastructure, or making it redundant, streamlining, and driving money to the bottom line is really what we're seeing more and more and more. And it's really cascading and catching a lot of momentum, as you said.
You spoke about myths about e-logs and the driver experience, and I want to stay on that because I think it's an important point. Certainly there's a lot of myths out there about how long it takes to learn to use e-logs, the impact on driver hours. But from the drivers that have actually used e-logs and have used them for a while, what are you hearing back from them? How is it affecting their day-to-day work life?
Great question. The concept of going to an electronic logs, the myth was drivers are going to lose time. Companies weren't going to be able to satisfy their customers, meet the deadlines, the rigorous demands of time lots. And what we're finding is, from the driver's point of view, is maintaining a logbook, keeping track of everything that he or she does during the course of the day. In a paper world, there's a lot of rounding. So when there's an event, the first 15 minutes of it, just everything gets rounded up. So when you automate that and drive in exact measurements, we're finding that drivers are getting back anywhere between 25 and 45 minutes per day. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you look at that over the course of a week, that's an extra 2 to 2.5 hours a week in drive time. So they eliminate the onerous exercise of documenting everything. They don't have to work about the paper exercise, and they're getting more drive time than they thought. And you add that to the opportunity that operations people see exactly what's going on with their customers and their drivers and their timing, allows for better planning, better scheduling, less demands, less changes to the driver. So everything boils back to, it's just a simpler way, a less stressful way for the driver to keep compliant in his or her logs and their work schedule.
And what you're saying is contrary to the fears that we hear from drivers that using e-logs actually will reduce their driving time. What you found in actual life is that they're increasing the amount of driver time because they're reducing the amount of time that's squandered here and squandered there and rounded up.
Absolutely. And it gives a company the opportunity to start measuring what is actually happening. You know, or do we have to do a better job of getting drivers in and out of loading situations more effectively? So it's tightening up a lot of things that adds a lot of value to the company, allows them the opportunity to utilize their assets more effectively, which is really the ultimate goal. And the driver is the conduit of making that happen, the revenue. And he or she works in a far more controlled environment.
Stay tuned to TMTV over the next few weeks as we discuss with Mike more ways technology is being leveraged to improve efficiencies.